Welcome to the 2025 coaches meeting. Again, as you come into the meeting, please remain muted. Any questions that you may have, please let's put them in the chat. We will answer them as efficiently as we can. Again, the meeting is being recorded, so you are able to view it again or show it to whoever you need to. It will be posted on the CIAC track and field page. And any questions that you may have, please send them to me and I will get them to the right people to get them answered. So with that being said, we will begin our meeting. So again, my name is Henry Rondon. I am the CIAC liaison for track and field. Welcome to everyone. Again, first, what I would like to do is thank everyone for what they do for CIAC high school athletics. Again, it is very important that what you do in working with these student athletes in this education-based athletic forum that you take part in. I know that you're pretty much getting these student athletes ready to go. So again, thank you for what you do. Before I continue, what I would like to announce, and at the same time, I would like to thank Jeremy and his workers, as this outdoor track championship season will be his last, working for CIAC and working as a whole. So again, we'd like to thank Jeremy and his crew for what they've done for CIAC throughout the years. We are very happy that with the work that he's done, and again, happy that he's, of course, moving on to the next chapter of his career. So again, Jeremy, thank you again for everything that you've done for CIAC track and field and to advance it, and for working all the running events. We cannot thank you enough for what you've done. With that being said, I will move it over to our co-chair, Don Friedman, for a few words and a few items that he would like to address. Go ahead, Don.
I think I'm unmuted. Can you hear me? Welcome, everybody. I'm sure you're excited to get going again on another outdoor track season. Certainly, one of the things I miss greatly is my coaching years and working with the young athletes. So I know how forward you're looking to the season. The items that I will discuss primarily do with the end of the season. Though we're beginning the season, I would like to look forward to the end of the season, and primarily our state meets and then on to the New England. I cannot encourage you enough to read the packet. We put the packet together, our committee, with a lot of review and try to make the packet as informative as possible. If you read the packet and know what to expect, it makes it easier for all of us. I will mention that there are a number of changes in the packet this year, but one of the changes will not be implemented. If you've looked at the packet, you would see that we were planning to implement scratch lines in the 3 throwing events and the long jump. For a number of reasons, we have decided to not utilize the scratch lines this year, but we'll entertain a discussion on it next fall at our annual meeting. You will see that there have been a number of changes in the qualifying standards. We had a subcommittee that took a look at all of the qualifying standards. I'd like to thank Bill Vanderest from Coventry, who compiled the data for the last 7 years for all events, which gave us a great view and vision of where we've gone with each of our track events in the past 7 years. And we changed the standards in a number of events Some we lightened, eased the standard because we were not getting as many qualifiers as we would like. But in other events, we made the standards much more difficult to get the numbers more reasonable. So please take a look at those qualifying standards. Also, at the state meets, we will have coaching boxes and we will be issuing wristbands for the appropriate coaches to be in those coaching boxes at the pole vault and high jump and horizontal jumps. Um, so you will probably find those wristbands in a registration packet when you arrive at the state meet. Another item that I'd like you to focus on is the relay declaration sheets. That's Appendix C. There's a sample copy of the relay declaration sheet in Appendix C in the packet. Please take a look at that. You'll be allowed to enter 8 names on that sheet, which will be the only 8 athletes on your team to be able to participate in that relay event. It's certainly to your advantage to put 8 names down. I know in some cases you may not have 8 athletes that you can list, but it would be wise to do so. When you are filling that out and also determining which events your athletes will do, there is also an entry limitation for athletes. Another item that is spelled out very specifically in Appendix A in the packet. Please look at that. The reason for having you focus on the relay declaration sheets and the entry limitations is when you don't, it sometimes causes a disqualification, and we certainly would like to limit or not have any disqualifications at our meets. Then, as far as the New England are concerned, we will be hosting this year. We were asked to step up a year earlier than usual. So the meet will be at Willowbrook Park. And hopefully that will make it easier for you to make your declarations, since an overnight stay will not be required with the meet being at Willowbrook Park. We ask that you make all your declarations, whether your athlete or relays are going to participate or not. We need to know each way. All the declarations need to be made within 15 minutes of the end of the state open meet. Because the New England registration process has changed, which is another item I wanted to focus on, now the registration and payment for the New England meet is done during the week before the New England. It is not done by bringing a check and registering your athletes the day of the meet. Your athletes who declare will be advanced and entered into the meet, but you will need to go into your athletic.net account and go in and register each of your athletes and relays. Once you do that, a short time after that, maybe a day or two later, then you'll need to go back in and do the payment for your entries. Hopefully, that isn't too much at once. But if you have questions, as Henry had said, please don't hesitate to pose that question to Henry or to myself or to Anna Mahan, who's the other co-chair and was probably not going to make it to the meeting today, but if she does, I'm sure we'll get an opportunity to introduce her. So that's it for me, Henry.
Thank you, Don, and thank you for all the work that you do for Connecticut Track. Outstanding. That being said, we will move on, and Yvonne Grimes will go into the rules portion of this session. Yvonne, take it away.
Good evening, everybody. First, thank you, everybody, for coming on this call. I see that we've beaten softball with 143 coaches online today, so that's a wonderful thing. First, with rules, I really implore every coach, even staff, to have the rule book. I get so many questions that can just be answered by reading the rule book and even the case book, just to go through it. There are changes every year, having a current rule book. I had a coach come after me with a 2021 rule book that the rule had been changed and they were still using the 2021 rule book. It's not a lot of money. You can get it on your phone. You can get a hard copy. Please just get the rule book, and that would save a lot of questions and arguments during a meet. The case book also gives examples, which are very helpful too and very clear. Book revisions are done every single year. If any of you read the rule book and don't like the way a rule is written or would like something changed, I'm very happy to take that information and pass it on to National Federation. They consider everybody's information that comes in. They consider each one from across the country. So if you have something that you would like to change or something that you would like to rewrite, I'd be happy to have that and pass that on. Also, on the side of officials, if you have somebody that is at all of your meets that you would like to certify, that would be great too. We have 97 officials in the state. We would love to have more. We would really love to have one official at every meet we have. That would be a great thing to work for, but we would need a bigger pool of officials. So anyone that would like to get certified, I'd be happy to help them along with that situation as well. Going from indoor to outdoor, you know that the 4x1 will have a 30-meter zone from our 20-meter zone for the short relay indoor. So teams can practice on that 30-meter zone. A big issue that came up this year was safety of implements. People are finding that javelins, discus, shot puts are being thrown outside the sector during a meet. People are warming up, not on the runways, not in the circles. They're throwing into a hill. They're throwing, and it's a very dangerous situation. Please do not allow that at any of your meets for athletes to practice with those implements outside the competition area. And if they are practicing discus while the javelin is going on, a coach must be there. A coach or an official must be present during a track meet for them for safety reasons to be practicing or warming up. We've had accidents with the javelin and the discus. Haven't had any with the shot put lately. And the hammer, there's always something. But please try to keep those throw events as safe as possible. I hear about that all the time. Recall has been changed from 100 meters to 50 meters outdoors. That's half of our turn when the race starts. So if there is a mishap within 50 meters of the start, a starter will shoot the gun a second time. So it has been shortened half from 100 meters to 50 meters. There has been a situation and an argument of when an athlete is disqualified if they leave the track during a race. Not to go get a drink of water and come back. I mean, jostling taking place during a non-laned event. It happens in the distance events where on a straightaway, an athlete is pushed out. They go over the rail or they step off the track and come back onto the track. As long as they do not gain an advantage in position, and they don't interfere with anybody, they are allowed to re-enter the track and continue the race. So that has come up. Of course, on the turn, that can't happen. But if somebody is pushed out, I guess that would be it for an umpire to make that call. But on a straightaway, they are allowed to go out, come back in if they're pushed out, as long as an advantage is not gained. Also, with a relay in a zone, if a baton goes off the track, they are allowed to retrieve the baton and come back into the zone as long as they don't interfere or gain an advantage on the track. They can't come in 20 meters down the track. They have to come back in the zone. If the baton goes out of the zone when it was passed fairly, they again go off the track, retrieve the baton, come back in at that point, and then continue on to on the race. Now it is part of our rules, as it is in NCAA and open track and field meets, that in the field events, an athlete must be warned with 15 seconds left in their time to implement their throw or their jump. If you go into the rule book on page 42, there is a wonderful chart of how many minutes there is, depending on how many athletes are left in different events that they have, and also suggestions on different ways that you can notify the athletes where there are 15 seconds left in to initiate their jump. You can use a flag, you can raise a hand, you can make a noise, you can flash a light. There are many different ways, but please practice this during your dual meets if it's possible, because they will see that in the postseason from now on. For newly entered, we have this issue in the pole vault and the high jump. All the athletes are done, and one of the better athletes comes into the event. They are one athlete where they would usually get 5 minutes, 3 minutes to take their first jump. But now, if they are coming into the high jump or the pole vault for the first time, they only have 1 minute to initiate their first jump. And then after their first jump, if they're the only ones left, they'll have the extra minutes to take their second jump. But newly entered athletes at any height, with any amount of athletes left, they have 1 minute to initially start their jump into the competition. In the book also, it has a better explanation of starting heights and how to implement jump offs. I know that's always a question as well. In the postseason, it comes up and we always have to refer to the rule book. They made it simplified and they explain how that will work. So you can take a look at that. In the points of emphasis, which is in the front of the book, also, they talk more about the false starts. They went into a minutia last year when they decided that any movement in the false start in the starting blocks, as long as you don't lift your hand or your foot in the false start, it's not a false start. Well, people went crazy on that, and now they have explained themselves a little bit better, that incidental movement is okay, but it doesn't mean just lifting your hand, not lifting your hand or lifting your foot to make the false start. So that would be an article that should be read on the start. Also, excusing athletes in and out. There has to be an established protocol at the beginning of your meet when athletes are being excused. I know in dual meets and quad meets, sometimes the throw events are far away and athletes have to go back and forth between their track events and their field events. It depends on your meet. So in your meet during the year, just establish yourselves what it is. When athletes check out, how long do they have? What is the protocol for that? So it is clear for all athletes. That is all that is new. But if you're a new coach, please, please, please go through that rule book. I still have coaches that actually believe that if you get off the mat before the bar falls, it's not a violation. It's not a bad throw. It's a good throw. It's a good jump. So that is not a rule anymore. And if we just go through our rule books at the beginning of each season, we'd be in a much better place. So if you have any questions, again, I'm happy all year to take any questions on rules. So good luck with your seasons.
Thank you, Yvonne. And again, if anyone has any questions, please put them in the chat. And again, we will answer them as efficiently as we can. At this time, I will then pass it on to Ron Knapp, who will go into athletic.net. So Ron, take it away.
Thanks, Henry. Welcome, coaches. We are in our third year of AthleticNet, and I'm going to share my screen as we give you a presentation here. Okay, I hope everybody can see the presentation. We are in our third year of using AthleticNet for our championship entries that rely on official meet results recorded in AthleticNet. And our presentation tonight, we're going to go over points of emphasis, some online help, supplemental info, a special invitation to a help meeting next week. We'll go through a summary, and then everybody can stay tuned for a question and answer on any part of the presentations tonight. And if you need to, you can start entering them into the online system here. So to get going, again, all the information that you need that I'm reviewing tonight is in the outdoor packet on the CIAC website. Each coach, each team, every team will be invited to their assigned class championship. That will be done by the end of this weekend, whether you're in the LL, MM, M, or S divisions, as noted on the CIAC website. Some of the general points of emphasis that I want to review with everyone is make sure that you have established a coach and or an AD account in your team account in AthleticNet. Very important. You can put in as many as you want, just so that everybody gets updated and has access. We had a couple instances last year where there's only one coach assigned to a team and they had to get their entries in, but the coach wasn't able to do so. And we had to do an emergency assignment of the athletic director to the team account so that they could put the entries in. So make sure that you have backup so at least you can get entries done and everything set up for your championship roster as well as your entries. Make sure that the other point is, as long as you're starting out and you're getting your team set of who's on the team or who's coming onto your team, make sure that your team rosters match your CIAC rosters with the exact first and last names, their grade, and try to remove any duplicates. And this becomes especially important during the season as you gain meet results. There are some meets outside of AthleticNet that are entered into AthleticNet maybe, and you may have used a different name than your roster name within AthleticNet. There are other online systems where meets are held. So make sure that when you get the results or when you register for those other meets outside of AthleticNet, that you are using your CIAC roster name instead of, if it's Jonathan Smith, make sure that you enter Jonathan Smith in that other entry system so that the results come back correctly. Don't enter nickname or anything else. The third point is that you will submit verifiable entries in AthleticNet from meet results marked as official between April 5th, the start of the season for competition, and then the end of the season deadline is 12 noon on Wednesday, May 28th. And that's when the entries close for all the championship meets. Remember that the submitted entries must equal or better the posted class standards for each event. And we are using something called hard standards right now for all the individual events, so that the only athletes that you will see that are available to enter into an event are those that have already qualified by an official result that is equal or better than the posted class standard. For relays, again, I'll go on to it's on the next slide, and I'll address that in a minute. The review of entries will be by a CIC representative, and will have a status of accepted or rejected, which is the green dot or the red dot on your report once you put your entries in. A status of pending or an orange dot are for those entries that require a coach to respond to an email request to resolve an issue. And all the emails will be addressed to all the coaches on your team, whether they are actually coaching or not. So make sure that you are on that list. Continuing with points of emphasis for relay entries, you're going to be selecting your relay time from your officially listed season best time. And as if some of you did, or if many of you saw during the indoor season, your best time automatically gets popped up or posted within your entry. And for relay times only, you have the ability to enter a slower time that is better than the posted class standard. If you manually enter a slower time, please, 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 please make sure that you enter in the format of minutes, seconds, and hundredths of a second, so that it's in the system. Although if it's incorrect, if you make it in hour, minute, and seconds, you'll get an email as well telling you to correct it. Also, you want to enter the probable relay competitors according to the packet instructions. And as explained earlier by Don, the official competitors are declared at your class meet. Secondly, for distance event entries, this is the best thing that's happened. There's a new feature within AthleticNet on the administrative side that was entered by AthleticNet during the indoor season. We did not use it during the indoor season, but new for the outdoor season, for entries in the 1600 meter and 3200 meter, like all the other individual events, coaches will select their athlete's performance that equals or betters the posted qualifying standards for the 1600 or 3200. And now this new feature, AthleticNet will convert and display a 1 mile or 2 mile official time for event entry when you're looking at the 1600 or 3200 meter event. So for instance, if John Smith ran a qualifying time of 1 mile that bettered his 1600 meter time during the season, when you go to enter him in the 1600 meter and he's already met the standard or bettered it, it will take and convert the 1 mile time to a 1600 meter time, and it will have an E next to it, meaning that it's been converted for you. And then you just use that as your entry time for that athlete. So this reduces the concern and worry, confusion we've had with coaches trying to enter previous, 1 mile and 2 mile times. And then on the back end, we had to convert those mile and 2 mile to 1600 or 3200 meter. And so it just made it a lot easier for everybody. And again, a reminder, you can't use a time that's reported as an en route to a longer distance. So all good things have come. AthleticNet has been making continued improvements, and this is a huge one for us that'll save both the coaches and the administrators that review the entries a lot of time. There's so much online help now for AthleticNet. It's still within, we have offer in several places. There is a condensed version of some of the most important ones in the CIAC outdoor packet. If you look at the end of the packet, there's also AthleticNet tutorials that are online as well for the outdoor attack. It's in the packet. You can always ask AthleticNet a question using the link at the bottom of the page where it says to contact us. And some of you can get results advice from them as well, but one of the ones that you may want to get, and it's become less and less as AthleticNet has upped their staff to go over or out and look at different meets that don't use the AthleticNet registration system. They are always looking at mile split direct athletics results, and they will oftentimes put them into AthleticNet. If they don't, you can always look at the meet, and if you don't have the result, you can always contact AthleticNet using that contact us button to go to AthleticNet administration and ask them to upload the results. I've also put together the supplemental info about ensuring how to run your outdoor track and field and get the official results. Remember, your meat needs to have an official stamp on it, not partial, not in review, not completed, which are different status for a meat. They need to be showing as official before you can use one of those qualifying entries, qualifying results as an entry for your athletes. So in terms of being able to do that, take a look at your homepage, know what's going on your homepage. You can, if you have, everybody has a free account. There's also, you can have a team supporter account, or you can have your meet managed by a timing service. And I just wanted to go over some of those. So this supplemental info, I explained the free account, the pros and cons for using a team supporter, and pros and cons using a timing service. So right now, if you have a free account, you can add results using one of the accepted formats. If you have a team supporter account, you can actually run an entire meet with their run meet tool. That's very easy to use, and that's available per season, as well as other things for the as a team supporter for $135. I think there are probably, as I last counted, over 60 schools with, or maybe it's even up more, that are team supporters or have that type that run their meets using run meet, and also to upload their results, or you can use a timing service. What I wanted to show you first off is that this document is available on any of the division championship pages that you'll be invited to. You'll see that there's tutorials here in a PDF, and then there's the ensuring the meet results for your CIAC teams. So by the end of this weekend, everyone will be invited to their division championship, and this is your meet info page. Get back. And then something else that we're going to be doing is that we did this last year, and to great success. We did a survey. We're on a little bit different timeline this year with this coaches meeting and with the Athletic Net Meet Help survey meeting. What I want you to do is, if you are interested in attending a home meet training session next Monday, the 31st at 7 p.m., then I would like you to respond to this survey. That you can use the QR code right now. I'm going to leave it up on the screen for a little bit. Take a few minutes. I mean, just scan it, leave it on your phone, and then after the meeting, you can fill it out, and we'll get responses back. And I know last year we had gotten a good number of responses to our survey. And I was able to actually help half the coaches without, and they didn't have to attend the meeting. And we had a great group attend the meeting of about 30 coaches. So they were able to participate within the meeting. And we will let you know, we will confirm with you by Saturday night, Sunday morning about whether the meeting is on or not. If we have enough interest within in response to this survey. So again, take scan it, respond to the QR code, and then we'll be going and then we're all set. I'm going to leave it up on the screen because the next slide is just a question and answer.
Sorry,
screen.
Ron, just a second. When we scan the QR code, it's looking for us to give access. So maybe you need to give all access for the QR code so that so that everyone can pull it up.
So it didn't get right into the
Probably just need to go on Google and give everyone access to it.
All right. All right. So let me, sorry about that. It says it's published, so I'm not quite sure. Henry, I can send it out to everybody as well.
Sounds good. And then same thing. Again, the meeting is being recorded, so again, you can go back and once everyone has access, you can go back and scan it. So why don't you continue, Ron?
Okay, so we're just on a question and answer session right now for any segment. So if you want to do that.
Okay, sounds good. So anyone out there, other than the QR code, if you have any questions for either Yvonne or Ron, this would be the time to put it on the chat if you have any questions.
Henry, can I add one more thing, please?
Absolutely.
Um, Yvonne reminded me during her presentation about the concern our committee had for safety in the throwing events. And coaches should be alerted to section 10.3 in the packet. Per the NFHS rules, warm-ups for the throwing events may only take place in the competition area when an official is present and has deemed the event open. Implements can only be thrown in the sector. And this year, athletes violating these rules will be disqualified, and this rule will be rigidly enforced. We've had a few issues leading up to this. Also, be reminded that once the shot, discus, and javelin are over, those implements should be secured. Any athlete throwing the implement after the competition is over will also be disqualified. So please make sure your athletes adhere to this. We're not after disqualifying athletes, but we have to be extremely concerned with safety. So again, look at section 10.3, explain it to your athletes, throwing athletes in particular. Thank you.
Again, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Again, if you scan the QR code, again, it should be at some point, if not today or tomorrow, it should be working. If not, I have included my email in the chat. If you are interested in attending, we'll make sure to get your name and get your information. But again, if you are interested and you need more answers and questions on athletic.net, especially setting up meets, please let us know.
So Henry, I gave control back to you.
Okay. So again, just a reminder to everyone, this meeting was recorded. So therefore, you can go back and look at the recordings. If there's anything you missed, again, any questions, please make sure you can email me. What at the state meets get moved to the weekends. Again, we are in a 2-year cycle where Memorial Day weekend is early this year. And therefore, to try to take advantage of one, student athletes not missing classes as they've had to with Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday meets. We are trying to take advantage of not having them miss times. Plus, it will move the open to Saturday and therefore also give our student athletes who are advancing to New England's more time to rest to attend New England's. Okay. Okay. With seeing that there are no other questions, again, I thank everyone for attending the meeting. Again, if you have any questions, I have included my email in the chat. Again, I wish everyone luck in this coming season. Again, thank you for everyone to coming and good luck this season. Thank you to everyone.